Hello, listeners. You are listening to the pilot episode of Sell It Sista. Welcome. We are excited. We have been talking about doing this podcast for probably a year. And we are friends, associates, a little support group, realtors, mothers, sisters, and professionals. We're a dynamic, funny group of ladies, and when we're together, we can solve the world's problems, or hell can break loose. You never know what you're going to get.
That's for sure.
Together, we have 39 years of experience selling real estate.
How can that be possible? I'm only 39.
That's right, Carri.
29 forever. And this year we sold together $40 million in real estate.
Woo woo!
Yeah, we are not a team. We all fly solo. We do have a little help getting there, but that's our numbers by ourselves. So anyway, we're going to talk about real estate, luxury living, and maybe not so much, because you never know what you're going to get when you walk in a house.
Nope.
We're going to tell you about the new hot spots in Omaha. Megan's kind of our regional hot spotter.
Try to be.
We're going to talk about life-home balance, if there is one. We have yet to find one. I think it's an urban legend with kids.
Definitely.
We're also going to dive deep and give you a little inspiration. We're going to have some guests on the podcast, lenders, people in the know. It's been a rough year for everybody, and we're going to dive deep on some mental toughness. But with that, let's introduce my amazing sisters, Megan Bengtson, Carri Owens. Megan?
Hi there, everyone. Megan Bengtson. Super happy and excited to be here. Thank you, Molly, for your brainchild. Just a little background about me. I've been in the industry now for over, 16 years. So I got in it directly out of college. So I'm kind of one of those, I feel like a little bit of an anomaly of a realtor that never had any other job. I don't know really anything else outside of selling real estate.
You know a lot.
Yes. So anyways, but I'm committed for life in this industry. I love this industry. It has given me so much. And so I absolutely love to give back to it as well. I am married to my husband, Aaron, and we have two beautiful daughters. Emma is my older one, Cameron's my younger one. So Emma's 3, Cameron's 1. So when Molly was kind of talking about that work-life balance, I do think that's a bit of an elusive idea. And so having littles, it's very interesting, and I really lean on these two a lot to just kind of help with questions and guide through things. And so it's every day is fun and exciting, and we never know what we're going to get. So, hey, Carri, what's your story?
Totally opposite of Megan. Carri Owens here. I've been in real estate 14 years. The reason I got into real estate was I'm married and have 3 children, and we love to travel. My daughters were in middle school at the time, and I was like, hey, college is coming up. What are we doing? And I need 3 vacations a year. So I thought, hey, why not do real estate? I'm good at it. I love it. I have a passion for design. So I got my license in the worst possible time. Well, unbeknownst to me, the worst possible time, 2007. So I started right before the market crashed. But everybody said, if you can get through this market, you can make it through anything.
Yep.
And at that time, my goal was probably to sell 3 to 5 houses just to create the income to pay for college and vacation. And it has morphed into a passion that I love. And I'm currently in the top 25 of realtors with Nebraska Realty. Last year might have been a little slip up year. Kind of had a tough time, but I'm still top 10%. Had a good year anyway, but just love what I do. Even though Megan's still struggling work-life balance, my kids are grown. My oldest is 30, believe it or not, and I'm 39. And I still have work-life balance issues, even though I don't have any kids at home. So we're all learning, we're all sharing experiences and making it happen. Molly, tell us why you got into it.
Oh, well, everybody has a backstory, and I started because I had lost my 6-figure job, and we were living on my now ex-husband's $30,000 income, and
Wow.
I decided
far.
I needed to pull myself up by my bootstraps and get something cooking. So turns out I have a passion for real estate, and
Obviously.
I love people.
Yep.
But it's I'm going into my 9th year. I have an 8. Or no, God, he's not 8. Where's time? A 10, a 12, and a 14-year-old. I'm a single mom, divorced. But man, I really love real estate. It could have the Jersey Turnpike going through it, and I would find a reason to love it. Yeah. So, but I want to tell our listeners about how Sell It Sister came about. The 3 of us are members of an accountability group. And if you don't know what that is, it's a group of like-minded individuals that really push each other to be accountable and set goals. And we really push each other, kind of a support group.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
But we found that at the end of the day, real estate is hard. It is stressful, and
Well, and it could be a lonely business. Yes, we all have support, our transaction people that help us, but basically you're out there on the front lines alone. And you need someone that's going to have your back. And I think that's how we found each other. As you can tell, we're all very diverse, but we want each other to be the best we can be, and we push each other to be the best we can be.
Well, and then, I mean, just every real estate deal is different. So it's nice to have other professionals within the industry that we know we can count on and rely on to ask questions and just bounce ideas off of. So it's really nice to kind of have a safe zone of, people that you know and trust, and just to be able to kind of really help elevate, that level of business as well.
so about probably 2 years ago, the 3 of us said, hey, let's go to lunch. And we had probably an amazing 3-hour lunch.
Yes.
And by the end of
2 bottles of wine.
2 bottles of wine, we said, hey, we should do this once a month. So the first Friday of every month, we go to lunch, and we found that these lunches were turning into really dynamic conversations. And I mean, we would have waiters laughing, and we would be laughing and crying and really, really talking about things that mattered. Just, what was going on in the market, and we were really solving some problems that we had with transactions, with husbands, with kids. And we really came together and said, gosh, we wish everybody could hear what we're going through, and we would take these conversations back to accountability, and there were a lot of aha moments.
Yes, I agree. And it just kind of motivated us to, not only motivate each other, but we would love to motivate other realtors, other moms, people that just need a little inspiration, because, it's a hard life right now, and we all want to stay positive and stay on top and come out of this on top.
Yep.
Emotionally, financially, mentally, possibly physically. We're all working on that one.
And we are not just a podcast for women.
Or real estate.
Real estate. There are a lot of men in this business. There are men in our accountability group, and we all have the same issues. There are lots of men out there that want to know the hot spots in Omaha, that want to know what's going on in the real estate market, and I'll tell you, there are not 3 tougher women in this market that haven't been through the ringer. So,
Jeez.
Anyway, let's get on with our topic today. This is our pilot episode, so we will normally try to go long enough to get you through a workout or your morning commute. Today may not quite be as long, but our topic today is what's happening in the market. And that is a crazy question for a crazy answer. I'm going to let Megan start the conversation. Megan sold $17 million this year. Megan actually is the only woman that I know that has sold 2 houses from her labor and delivery bed, and the woman never stops.
Nope.
So I'm going to let you get a feel for kind of the crazy market that's going on, especially in Douglas and Sarpy County. Megan.
Why, thank you. And yes, those labor and delivery stories are true. So, but you know what? Real estate never stops. And if there's time in a computer, and then there's time to be able to sell something. So, the real estate market, yes, it's crazy. It's also phenomenal right now. So, it is definitely a heavy seller's market. So it makes it tough for buyers. But I think the big thing is having realistic expectations and being able to position yourself correctly to be successful within this market. So you're having to do things that you maybe really, didn't want to do, or that are a little uncomfortable. And I'd say the biggest one is if you have a home to sell, it's incredibly tough to get a house under contract with a home sale contingency. So it's you've got to really kind of dig deep and look, am I willing to make the sacrifices? Am I willing to, move in with a family member or move into an apartment for a while, kind of do those things. Right. I think that makes the huge difference to really being able to position yourself well in today's market as a buyer. As a seller, it's amazing the prices that we're, able to kind of, get with
Right.
what's going on in the market.
How many offers are you guys seeing? I feel like everything's going multiple offer right now, whether you're a 180 price point or you're a 600 price point. We talked to somebody last week who was in the $1 million price range and got beat out multiple offers. How many offers do you think you're seeing on a listing?
I would say, the kind of under 250, under 300, that's an absolute insane market.
Right.
Omaha's in desperate need of needing more of that first-time home buyer, inventory. So I would say, I'm seeing anywhere from average 5 on up to potentially, 15 plus.
Right,
So it really kind of depends upon what's going on. I did see, on Facebook, a fellow realtor from another company, they ended up getting 40 offers on one listing, which is just mind-blowing. And I feel like along with that is when you're looking to position yourself with a realtor as well, it's not one size fits all. So you need to make sure that person that you're working with on the list side and the buy side, they understand what's going on in the market. Right. They have a good, they know what's happening. They understand how to write the contract, read the contract. And so all those things are, our skill sets are really, really being pushed. And I think that's great for the level of professionalism that, we are really trying to exude in the industry. So,
Carri, I know you've been writing a lot of offers on the buy side. What are some of the tactics you've been using to try to be the top offer?
Right. To win the offer right now, you're advising clients to do things that, 5 years ago, I never even dreamed. Last year, I think almost every buyer waived home inspection, or they got the contingency to have a home inspection, but waived the opportunity to ask for repairs, which 10 years ago, every house you bought had a home inspection and you got any repair you wanted. Now that it's kind of unheard of.
We're also seeing a lot less sellers paying for buyers' closing costs, which 10 years ago, that was
the norm.
Yeah.
In fact, I think that is almost extinct in this market. There is no seller paying for closing costs because they don't have to. And I'm having a lot of people with success writing personal letters to the seller saying why we love your home, the way your home makes us feel, kind of putting the emotion into it, because it is an emotional transaction for a seller.
Yes.
And so that helps win the deals. And then also sometimes you're having to go above asking price. And with that, it just depends on how high you're willing to go. And, there's all kinds of variables that we put in there. Are we going to make up the difference if the house doesn't appraise? How high are we willing to go? And so you need to counsel your buyers right now to make the best offer to win the deal. So, you know, with so many buyers out there looking for homes right now, my advice is if you have a home to sell under 300, you're interested in selling, and you can move in with a family member, a sister, a parent, sell your house for top dollar, and then put yourself in a position to buy a new house with no home sale contingency, because that's how you're going to win the deal.
I'm seeing both on the list and the buy side an escalation clause in play on every single offer. And if you don't know what an escalation clause, if you're new to the business or you're a consumer, an escalation clause is a certain dollar amount over any competing offer. And it's something 9 years ago, I didn't know what it was.
No.
We didn't use them. We didn't see them. And now it's
commonplace.
It's common.
Yeah.
They're crazy. I've seen a couple just with my listings where people are submitting uncapped escalation clauses, which is also unheard of. But
well, and I had a VA buyer, which VA, they're a little bit more stringent on the appraisal process. So in order for my VA buyer who got transferred here from Texas to work at Offutt, we did an escalation clause for $7,000 over the list price, and put that my VA buyer would make up the difference if the house did not appraise what we were willing to pay. When I started with the escalation clauses, I would put maybe 500, maybe 1,000. But these people were moving. We had a tight time frame. And so I'm like, let's go for it. You want it? What would you pay top dollar? And that's what we wrote, and we got it. And he was so grateful because previously he'd been working with another agent. They had wrote 5 offers, and they hadn't got anywhere. And his lender said, hey, I have a, what did he call me? I can't remember. It was some animal name. I think it was like a bobcat. And she'll get you a deal. I'm like, hey, you know what? I can be whatever you need to be. I can morph.
I'll take it.
So we took it. The first offer we wrote, this was my advice. He took it, and we won the deal, and he closed, and this week he is in a home.
That's
awesome.
awesome.
Didn't have to move into an apartment.
And I think that brings up an important point, is that what we're seeing is a really big gap between what a buyer's willing to pay in a low inventory market and what an appraiser is willing to value that house at, because there is a big disconnect there. Are you seeing the same thing?
Absolutely. One other thing I think that we need to talk about a little bit is just the time urgency. Like, that's where I feel like it gets super intense out there. You see a listing come on the market, and, we all have crazy lives. We, family stuff, kids' sports, work. It's almost like, how fast can you go see it?
Right. And which is unfortunate. And it's
tough for everyone.
Right. I actually won a deal last week, crazy enough, because a realtor friend of mine posted showing start tomorrow, and I sent it to my people that were in Arizona anyway. And I'm like, you guys, this is the house, da-da-da. So we wrote an offer before they even started showing, sight unseen, and wrote it for $5,000 over list, and we put a 2-hour turnaround time, and we won the deal. The house never actually no one else even got to look at the house, because we wrote the offer on Friday, got it done on Friday at 2:00, and it was supposed to start showing Saturday at 10. So
you're amazing.
I know. Thinking outside the box. That's what you got to do to win the deal for your buyers.
You got to be a hustler.
You do.
Or a bobcat.
Yes. Well, and I also, so kind of along that too, in our industry, it's a small industry, tight-knit industry.
Right.
You have to know your fellow agents. Because if they know and trust that, it's like, when I write an offer, they know, my fellow agents who know and trust me, they know that, I've done the due diligence with the buyer, that my buyer's good to go, that we are solid, that they're maybe willing to say, all right, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, let's work with these buyers potentially before it does hit the open market. I don't sometimes know, but it's just like, these relationships amongst us are absolutely imperative.
Correct.
So important, you guys.
Because people know you have integrity.
Yeah.
And they know you take your job seriously, and you are a true professional.
Yeah.
And you've done the work to make sure your buyers are qualified. So, no, we're just going to keep on pushing and keep getting our buyers' houses.
Yes.
It's exciting to say there's 800 houses on the market, and we all have multiple houses under contract. With 4,000 agents in Omaha, there's a lot of agents sitting there wondering what they're doing next.
Yep.
But we're making it happen right now.
Yes.
Yeah, that's great, you guys. I'm super excited to be sharing all this real estate information. Next week, we're going to have a guest in to talk about some of the market statistics. We will be on location next week at one of Omaha's new hotspots.
Yay!
And we probably won't be drinking coffee next week.
No. We're definitely going to up it and do some wine.
Yes.
So thanks for joining us this week. We are Sell It Sister. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Spotify.
And we will let you know what those logons are because we are learning this whole thing. But we just want everybody to know, remember, every day is what you make it, and we are going to make it outstanding. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you.